Hello and welcome to another Greater Tax Returns Agency's Trainings Essentials. In this video tutorial, we're going to share with you the fundamentals of adding your income docs. As you very well know, in our last video tutorial, we just shared with you how to add uh, dependents. And so we're moving forward to add the income docs so we can see some of the changes that's in store for us in this software. Okay, so now we're here logged into your tax preparation software, and we're actually we're on the return manager of the client Jane Doe, which we've been working with all along. We've added 2 dependents, and now we're getting ready to add her income docs so that we can see exactly what type of refund she may be qualified for. So let's click on edit. And as you very well know, we're going into direct input, and we're going to hit save. Okay, and now we're reaching her. We're at her, within her page, her information, personal information page, which is just automatically pops up every time. And what we're going to do is share with you a couple of things. Number one, when you receive an income doc, and you will, because that's how we determine what the person is eligible for to get. In most cases, you'll receive a W-2. Okay, in the W-2, there are things that you really have to really pay close attention to, due to the fact that if you make any errors, this could delay this return being processed. So number one, you have to make sure that your employees, your client's name and social security number is on the W-2, and on the most part, that happens in all cases. The employee's first name, last name, and address, and all that goes here. And one of the most important things that you need to pay very close attention to is the employer's information, and that includes the employer's identification number here. You want to make sure that's correct, because if it's not, it could halt your return from being processed through the IRS. You definitely want to check over that a couple of times to make sure everything is accurate. All these numbers and names and spellings are accurate. 2 areas that you have to pay close attention to, and we discussed this in prior video tutorials, but we're doing it again, is box number 1 and number 2 on your W-2. Number 1 usually has the wages and the total amount of money that person has made for that particular year and how much is being withheld. The same thing applies for the state. The state in which that person worked, was employed in, is usually here. And this employer's state identification number is generally here. And the state wages are actually the same amount as what's up here in number 1. However, the amount of money for the state is usually a little different, a lot lower than the wages that are up here in the federal wages. Okay, now let's move on to other income docs to familiarize you with those. We have the Social Security Administrative that actually gives out a statement each year, and or every year. Everyone who receives any type of disability or Social Security gets a Social Security benefits letter, and that also indicates what that person receives as well. But this statement actually gives you all of what you need to add if they receive any type of benefits from the Social Security Administrative Office. If the person received a 1099, let's say that person works for an insurance company and they're an independent contractor, such as you. If the person works for Avon or any company like that, they generally receive a 1099, okay? And you want them to send that to you if that's the case for the particular client. A 1099-R is a statement that is received if the person receives a pension, any annuities, any retirement or profit sharing plans that that person may be a part of, any IRAs, insurance contracts, that kind of thing. That this type of document is what you will receive. And when you process this document, it takes you, once you know that this is what you're receiving, then you follow the proper protocol on the website. So let's go back to the website, and we're going to, there's two ways in this particular case, client, we're going to add a W-2. Now you can type in W-2 and automatically the system pops up forms that are compatible with the W-2 if you typed in W-2. And what we're doing is we're going to click on W-2 wages, and we're going to go to another page where we can add W-2s. Okay, that's one way of adding that pulling up your W-2s form so you can input the wages that you receive from the W-2 from your customer into the system. Okay, so let me make sense of this. When you receive your W-2s or any income docs, you receive this information actually goes into this system. Okay, so we typed in W-2. Here's W-2 that popped up here. We simply click on add new, and we're going to add a new W-2. So we're going to click there. And we simply add the information that's on the W-2 into this page right here. We're going to cancel out for now because I want to show you another way of getting to this page. When you scroll up and you click on 1040 page 1, let's say you're just going down the documents, going down all the forms, okay? You can literally, okay, this is a 1040A, the first page, okay, of the 1040 tax return for your client, okay? Most people over the age of 18 in general has filed their taxes, so they're familiar with a 1040, and in a lot of cases they receive copies, so they're familiar with what it looks like. The first page of the 1040, we're going to pull up the 1040 PDF from over here on the right-hand side so you can see what page we're on. We're on page 1, and as you can see, it's coming up. And we're on page 1 starting at line 7. So all of this information in the system, and it's still populating. Okay, it's come up now. All right. So in the last couple of video tutorials, we've entered the information, the general information or the personal information of the client, which is at the first part of this form on page 1 of this form. Okay, we've entered in all of this, as you can see. And it's also in our personal and our additional and our dependent information. As you can see, we've added our dependents here. Now we're getting ready to work on the income area of the return. And we're going to erase these lines right quick so we can scroll down and show you what we're getting ready to do. We're focusing now in this video on this area right here, the income area, okay? From lines 7 to pretty much 22, okay? For now, all right? So let's get out of here. And as you can see, we're we're working on 22. From the income from here to here for now, and then we'll be working on the any additional expenses that person may have acquired. Okay, so right now, let's say if you did not type in W-2, which in a lot of cases you will be doing, processing that way you can, it's up to you, or you can just simply click here on line 7 where it says wages, salaries, and tips, and click on W-2 or 1099-R, which is the pension form, or the 1099 miscellaneous. Okay, you can click on there, or any one of these. Schedule C covers if you're self-employed. All right, these are generally the 4 that you'll be processing most of. So we click on W2, I'm sorry, W2. We're at the W2, as you can see highlighted over here on the left-hand side. We're in the W2, so we're going to add a W2. Okay, so you've received a W-2. The client either had faxed a W-2 or scanned the W-2 and emailed it to you, or maybe taken a really, really, really good, clear photo of the W-2 and shared it with you. And then, of course, you want to upload that document into this system or email it to a Greater Tax Return, making sure you add the name of the client and the name of the file, which is a W-2. Okay, so let's start at the top. Generally, let's start at the top. This W-2 belongs to the primary. The P stands for primary. S stands for spouse. So the primary, which is Jane Doe. And then we just go through the whole process. Check to block auto calculations. We don't want to do that. Check here if a standard W-2, which is not the case here. Check here if military wages. If a person is in the military, you check there because the system automatically lets you know that they're going to get incentives because they're in the military. Check here if it is a minister wages, W-2. Check here if church employee income work not as a minister. Okay, and then check here if it is a care provider, W-2, Medicare waiver notice 1014-7. Okay, then here you want to enter the IRS verification code associated with the form, which doesn't apply here. Okay, so we move on down. So none of this generally has to be checked unless it applies to the person that you're working with. Then now we're getting ready to start. Please check copy B or copy C to verify if verification code is present. Okay, and in a lot of cases it's not, but you can always check it. Okay, then you add the controller number that's on the W-2, and it's right here on line D. Okay, the employer identification number. Now, there may be times where you may see a W-2 that's designed differently from this one. A lot of payroll companies have different layouts in their W-2s. So just keep that in mind, but they all provide the same information the same way. The design is only a little different. This particular W-2 actually was created by the Department of Treasury, the Internal Revenue Service. Okay, So where were we? Okay, the employer identification number. We're going to go back to the W-2, and as you can see here, it's B. You add the number that's in B from the W-2 right here. Okay, so we're going to add an employer identification number. Now, it's usually about 9 numbers, and they usually start off with 394959, nothing odd numbers. And the system will let you know that, it cannot accept that a specific EIN number because of the types of numbers. They know, the Internal Revenue knows. The employer's name, Health Unite Incorporated, let's say that, and then the address, and then we can put in a zip code, and once you put in the zip code, it automatically pops up the city. So that's less, work that you have to do. Okay, then you go over to the W-2, and we're right down here at number 1, wages and tips. So we look in box 1 and we look for the wages and tips. So we're going to say that the wages were $14,560, okay? And automatically the system pre-pops the other information in box 3, 5, 4, and 6, which should actually match these boxes here. But in some cases, it doesn't, because who's ever doing the payroll or processing these W-2s may not know either how to process them or may not be totally accurate, but it automatically populates. Then we add, we input from line 2 from the W-2, whatever is here in the W-2. Now, some people, when they complete their W-9 or W-4, they add on a lot of dependents, so they won't have so much money taken out of their payroll. But then at the end of the year, they have very little taxes withheld, and they may end up owing taxes. So that's where this figure can make or break a person. Now, when you have dependents, it helps, because if you owe taxes and you get an earned income credit, then that helps tremendously. So let's go here, and we're going to say that this person was very conservative about not having their employer take out taxes. So we're going to say this person received $2,890 taken out that was withheld from their taxes, and that's it. Anything that is between 7 and 12F usually applies for special reasons. For example, if the person has uncollected SSI taxes or tips, and we can go down the road, if the person received a 401k, and some of these things are very rare, but you can actually go in here and find the code if the person received a Roth, an IRA, or anything that has to do adoption benefits, if the person did adopt the child. So it's always good to familiarize yourself with these codes so that you know exactly what this person may receive. Now, where do you find these codes? Usually on the documentation here. If the person received any type of had any type of other expenses or any other codes, it would actually go in this section right here. Okay, on the most part. And we're going to have more videos about this too. So let's go over here. So so anything between 7 and 13 does not apply. There's no retirement plan. There's no statutory employee, and there's no third party sick pay. Okay. Other descriptions, if there's anything that addresses this person, would go here based on the code. There's a retirement, a railroad retirement, and all of these codes. And we're going to go over these codes later in other videos. But now we're going to keep it simple. Okay, so we're in the state of Michigan. We're doing the state, okay? And as we shared with you before, anything that applies to the state would be actually posted down here. So you would normally have here typed in the state of Michigan, MI, the employees, the same employee's identification number, and the wages here and the income, the taxes that was withheld. So we're gonna type, we're gonna key in the state of Michigan here. The employer's ID number. Let me see if we can copy this. And hopefully we can. If not, we're gonna have to. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, since we made this number up, we're gonna get us a notepad, and we're gonna type in the number 390919320. And we're gonna copy. We're gonna cut. We're gonna get rid of this notepad. I'm gonna scroll down here, and we're gonna paste this in here. And then we're gonna put the same amount of money, state wages and tips. What wages did that person make? They made $14,560, which is the same exact amount that's up here that's in the federal area. That number comes down here. And any money that the state that you see on the W-2 that they taken out for this particular employer would be here. State income tax withheld, and let's say $700. Okay. And we're going to hit save. And if there's anything else we need, of course, something will pop up and let us know that we need it. Okay, so we're okay. We've added the this person, Jane Doe's benefits, wages. And because we added the wages, the federal tax summary has changed. Okay, and it's letting us know that this person actually receives a $5,500 refund based on the information that we've submitted into this system. So thank you for joining us and adding the wages to this return, and we look forward to seeing you and connecting with you in our next video presentation.